Today, we journey into the timeless world of Stoic philosophy, an ancient wisdom that has stood the test of centuries. Its lasting relevance lies in its profound guidance through life's most challenging times. In this video, we'll uncover how these age-old teachings can reshape our mindset, offering us powerful tools to face everyday struggles with calm and resilience. Stick around until the end, where I'll share some insightful quotes that will help fortify your spirit in any situation. If you're new here, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. Interestingly, only about 15% of you are subscribed, so if this content has made a difference for you, I encourage you to subscribe and click the notification bell. Now, let's dive into this transformative exploration together. Ready to get started. The foundation of a content and fulfilled life, according to Stoic philosophy, is rooted in the recognition of what is within our control and what lies outside of it. This understanding forms the basis of Stoic thinking and is referred to as the dichotomy of control. The concept may seem simple at first glance, but its implications are profound, touching every aspect of how we live, think, and interact with the world. The ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized this idea, stating, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This distinction, when fully embraced, has the power to free the mind from unnecessary suffering and to foster a sense of inner peace. Human nature inclines us to seek control over various aspects of our lives. We yearn for certainty, predictability, and the ability to shape our circumstances. However, reality often proves unpredictable and uncontrollable. This gap between our desire for control and the unpredictable nature of life is where frustration, anxiety, and discontentment often arise. When we attempt to control what is inherently uncontrollable, such as the actions of others, the outcome of events, or even the passage of time, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. Stoicism offers an antidote to this struggle by teaching us to focus our efforts solely on what is truly within our power, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. The Stoics assert that while we may not control external events, we do have complete control over how we choose to perceive and respond to those events. This inner locus of control is where our true power lies. Our thoughts are not dictated by the external world. They are shaped by our internal judgments, perspectives, and choices. By mastering our thoughts, we can transform how we experience the world around us. When we recognize that our reactions and feelings are a result of our internal judgments, we begin to reclaim our power. It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. For example, losing a job or facing criticism can be seen either as a catastrophic failure or as an opportunity for growth and self-reflection, depending on our mindset. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often reminded himself of this principle. In his work, Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This idea encapsulates the Stoic belief that our mental fortitude is our greatest asset. While we may not influence the course of events or the actions of others, we always retain the freedom to choose our response. This perspective shift can be a profound source of empowerment and inner peace, as it places the key to our happiness and resilience firmly in our own hands. It is important to acknowledge that understanding what is within our control is only the first step. The real challenge lies in applying this understanding in our daily lives. Life is full of situations that provoke us, stress us out, and make us wish we could control outcomes that are inherently uncertain. Consider the workplace, where many people invest significant time and energy into their careers. It is natural to desire recognition, promotions, and success. However, the Stoic approach would suggest that while we can control the quality of our work, our effort, and our attitude, we cannot control the opinions of others, company policies, or market conditions. Focusing on these uncontrollable factors often leads to frustration and anxiety as we tie our sense of self-worth to variables outside our influence. In personal relationships, the application of this Stoic principle can be equally transformative. Many people fall into the trap of trying to change or control others, believing that their happiness depends on how others behave or treat them. For example, in a friendship or romantic relationship, one might obsess over getting the other person to act in a particular way, to meet certain expectations, or to fulfill specific needs. However, the Stoics remind us that the behavior of others is beyond our control. We can express our feelings, set boundaries, and choose how to respond, but ultimately, we cannot dictate how others will think or act. By accepting this, we can release the mental and emotional burden of trying to change others and instead focus on cultivating our own virtues, such as patience, understanding, and self-respect. Health and well-being present another domain where this principle is highly relevant. While we can influence our health through lifestyle choices such as diet, exercise, and regular medical care, we cannot fully control whether we will fall ill, the aging behavior process, or unforeseen accidents. Many people live in constant fear of health issues, trying to control every aspect of their physical state to avoid discomfort or illness. The Stoics teach that such attempts to control the uncontrollable lead to unnecessary suffering. Rather than obsessing over what might happen, we should focus on what we can do, take care of our bodies, make wise health choices, and cultivate a resilient mindset to face whatever comes. By doing so, we liberate ourselves from the paralyzing grip of fear and learn to embrace the present moment. Letting go of what we cannot control does not mean adopting a passive or indifferent attitude towards life. On the contrary, it is about engaging with the world actively and wisely, focusing our energy where it can have the most impact. When we acknowledge the limits of our control, we free up mental and emotional resources to invest in what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our responses. This mindset empowers us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and fortitude, knowing that our peace of mind depends not on the outcome of events, but on how we choose to meet them. The process of letting go of the need to control external factors can be challenging, especially when it involves deeply ingrained habits and beliefs. It requires a conscious effort to reframe our thoughts and to remind ourselves regularly of what is within our control. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is to practice mindfulness and self-reflection. By regularly examining our thoughts, emotions, and reactions, we can become more aware of when we are attempting to control the uncontrollable. This awareness allows us to pause, reflect, and redirect our focus towards what we can change, our own attitudes and behaviors. Another practical tool is to use reminders or mantras to reinforce the Stoic principle of control. Phrases like "focus on what you can control" or "let go of what you cannot change" can serve as mental cues to bring our attention back to the present and to our sphere of influence. When faced with a difficult situation, asking ourselves questions such as, "Is this within my control?" or "How can I respond virtuously?" can help us align our actions with our values and the reality of the situation. The liberation that comes from letting go of what we cannot control is profound. It releases us from the mental anguish of trying to predict, manipulate, or force outcomes that are not in our hands. It also fosters a sense of acceptance and equanimity as we come to terms with the natural unpredictability of life. By focusing on our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we cultivate an inner resilience that remains stable even in the face of external chaos. We learn to approach each day, each encounter, and each challenge with a mindset that is grounded in reality and guided by our values. This approach to control can also improve our relationships with others. By recognizing that we cannot control others' actions or feelings, we can interact with more empathy, patience, and understanding. We cease to impose our expectations on others and instead focus on how we can contribute positively to the relationship. This shift reduces conflict and fosters a more harmonious and respectful connection with those around us. It also allows us to set healthy boundaries, as we understand that our well-being does not depend on others conforming to our desires, but on how we choose to respond to them. In times of crisis or adversity, the dichotomy of control becomes even more crucial. Life is filled with unexpected events, losses, failures, betrayals, and changes that we cannot foresee or prevent. The Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control enables us to navigate these turbulent waters with courage and composure. When we encounter obstacles, we can ask ourselves, what part of this situation is within my power? By identifying what we can influence, whether it is our attitude, our decisions, or our next steps, we reclaim our sense of agency and prevent ourselves from being overwhelmed by circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor with immense power, often reflected on the limits of his control. He faced wars, political turmoil, personal losses, and betrayals, yet he constantly reminded himself to accept whatever came his way with grace and dignity. His writings reveal a deep commitment to focusing on his own actions, virtues, and duties rather than being consumed by the uncontrollable elements of his reign. This mindset allowed him to maintain his inner peace and sense of purpose amidst the immense pressures of his role. In today's fast-paced world where many people experience stress, anxiety, and burnout due to the pressures of trying to control numerous aspects of their lives, the Stoic practice of distinguishing between what we can and cannot control offers a path to mental and emotional freedom. It encourages us to let go of the need for external validation, the obsession with outcomes, and the desire to control every detail of our existence. Instead, it guides us to focus on cultivating a virtuous character, making wise decisions, and responding to life's challenges with integrity and resilience. By embracing this Stoic principle, we come to realize that true strength and happiness are not found in the external world, but within ourselves. The freedom that arises from relinquishing control over what we cannot change is a profound liberation, opening the door to a life of greater clarity, purpose, and peace. It allows us to live fully in the present, to engage with life actively, and to find contentment in the simple yet powerful act of choosing our responses to whatever fate may bring. Gratitude, in the Stoic sense, is far more than a momentary feeling of thankfulness. It is a profound practice that lies at the heart of their teachings. The Stoics believed that cultivating gratitude was essential to living a life of fulfillment, contentment, and inner peace. To them, gratitude was not just about acknowledging the good things that happen to us, but also about finding value in the difficulties and challenges we encounter. This is a stark contrast to modern perceptions of gratitude, which often focus solely on recognizing positive experiences or material abundance. The Stoics teach that true gratitude encompasses both the joys and the hardships of life, allowing us to embrace every moment as an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. One of the core Stoic beliefs is that life is a mixture of pleasure and pain, success and failure, health and sickness. These varying experiences are all part of the natural order of things, and they shape who we are. The Stoics argued that by cultivating an attitude of gratitude towards everything that happens to us, we can learn to accept life's ups and downs with grace and composure. This practice of gratitude is closely linked to their concept of amor fati, or the love of fate, which encourages individuals to embrace all aspects of their existence without resistance or resentment. By learning to love our fate, we train our minds to see every event as part of a larger tapestry of life, rather than as isolated instances of good or bad fortune. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, frequently reflected on the importance of gratitude in his personal writings. In Meditations, he reminds himself to appreciate the simple privilege of being alive, to breathe, to think, and to experience love. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This reflection serves as a reminder that every day, regardless of the challenges it may bring, is an opportunity to experience the gift of existence. By starting each day with gratitude, we set a tone of appreciation that can influence our actions, attitudes, and interactions with others throughout the day. Gratitude for the Stoics extends beyond merely appreciating the pleasant aspects of life. It involves acknowledging and valuing even the difficult and painful experiences as essential components of our growth. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, emphasized that hardships and adversity serve to strengthen our character and fortify our minds. He believed that those who face challenges with a grateful heart develop resilience and wisdom, becoming better equipped to handle future difficulties. This perspective challenges the conventional notion of gratitude, which often focuses solely on positive outcomes and overlooks the transformative power of facing adversity with a grateful mindset. One of the practices the Stoics employed to cultivate this kind of gratitude is known as negative visualization. This exercise involves imagining the loss of things or people we cherish and contemplating what life would be like without them. While this may seem like a morbid or pessimistic exercise, its purpose is quite the opposite. By visualizing the absence of the things we value, we deepen our appreciation for their presence in our lives. For example, by imagining the loss of a loved one, our health, or a cherished possession, we awaken a renewed sense of gratitude for these aspects of our lives in the present. Negative visualization reminds us that nothing in life is permanent, and that everything we have is a gift that could be taken away at any moment. This awareness not only enhances our appreciation, but also helps us develop a sense of detachment, freeing us from excessive attachment to material possessions or outcomes. In practicing gratitude, the Stoics also encourage us to express it towards others, acknowledging the interconnectedness of human beings. They recognized that much of what we have and experience is not solely the result of our own efforts, but also the contributions and kindness of others. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the influence of the people in his life, including his teachers, family, and friends, expressing gratitude for the virtues and values they imparted to him. This acknowledgement fosters a sense of humility and community, reminding us that we are part of a larger whole and that our well-being is intertwined with the actions and generosity of others. Gratitude is not just an internal practice, it extends to how we interact with the world around us. The Stoics believed that by appreciating what we have, we free ourselves from the constant craving for more, which is a common source of dissatisfaction and suffering. Modern society often encourages a relentless pursuit of material success, status, and external validation, leading many people to focus on what they lack rather than what they possess. This pursuit creates a mindset of scarcity where we are never satisfied, always wanting something else or something more. The Stoic practice of gratitude counteracts this tendency by shifting our focus from scarcity to abundance. By training ourselves to recognize and appreciate the wealth of experiences, relationships, and opportunities we already have, we cultivate a sense of contentment that is independent of external circumstances. Incorporating gratitude into daily life requires consistent and mindful effort. One practical method is to keep a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, take a few moments to write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. These can be simple things, such as a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a colleague, or a quiet moment of reflection. The act of writing helps reinforce the practice of gratitude by making it tangible. Over time, this exercise trains the mind to seek out and recognize positive aspects of our daily experiences, fostering a more appreciative and content outlook on life. Another way to practice gratitude is through daily reflection. As you go about your day, pause periodically to take note of the things you are thankful for. This can include the people who support you, the beauty of nature, or even the challenges that help you grow. By making a habit of acknowledging these moments, you develop a mindset that is attuned to the richness of life, even amidst its difficulties. When facing obstacles, try to adopt the Stoic approach of asking, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can this experience help me become a better person?" By reframing challenges as opportunities for growth, you shift your perspective from frustration to appreciation, seeing even hardships as valuable parts of your journey. The practice of gratitude is particularly transformative during times of adversity. The Stoics taught that true gratitude includes the capacity to be thankful for life's difficulties, as they are the very circumstances that shape our character and resilience. When we encounter setbacks, failures, or losses, we are presented with an opportunity to practice fortitude, patience, and wisdom. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." By embracing adversity with gratitude, we learn to view challenges not as burdens to be avoided, but as essential experiences that contribute to our development. This attitude not only helps us cope with hardship, but also fosters a deeper sense of fulfillment, knowing that we are becoming stronger and more virtuous through our trials. Modern psychology has found evidence supporting the benefits of practicing gratitude. Studies have shown that individuals who regularly practice gratitude experience improved mental health, reduced stress, and enhanced overall well-being. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is missing in our lives to what is present, reducing feelings of envy, resentment, and dissatisfaction. By acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, we train our minds to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude also plays a vital role in our relationships with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we strengthen our bonds and create a sense of community and support. The Stoics believed that humans are inherently social beings, designed to live in harmony with one another. When we show gratitude towards others, we acknowledge their efforts, virtues, and contributions, fostering a climate of kindness and mutual respect. This practice not only benefits those around us, but also enriches our own lives by deepening our connections and promoting a sense of shared humanity. Incorporating gratitude into our daily interactions requires mindfulness and intentionality. It can be as simple as taking a moment to thank a friend for their support, acknowledging a colleague's efforts, or expressing appreciation to a family member. These small acts of gratitude can have a powerful impact, creating a positive ripple effect that extends beyond the immediate interaction. When we express gratitude, we remind ourselves of the interconnectedness of our lives and the importance of the people who enrich our experiences. Practiced gratitude towards oneself is equally important. Many people struggle with self-criticism and perfectionism, constantly focusing on their flaws and shortcomings. The Stoics, however, teach that we should also recognize and appreciate our own efforts, virtues, and progress. Self-gratitude is not about arrogance or self-congratulation, but about acknowledging our journey and the ways in which we strive to live in accordance with our values. By appreciating our own growth and the lessons we have learnt, we cultivate self-respect and inner strength, reinforcing our commitment to personal development. The practice of gratitude, particularly in the Stoic sense, also serves as a powerful tool for managing desires and attachments. The Stoics recognized that much of our suffering arises from the desire for things we do not have and the fear of losing what we do possess. By practicing gratitude, we learn to focus on what we already have, reducing our dependence on external possessions or circumstances for our happiness. This mindset frees us from the constant pursuit of more and allows us to find joy in the present moment. Gratitude is not a one-time event, but a way of life. It requires consistent practice and reflection, especially in moments of difficulty. When we encounter obstacles, we can choose to view them as opportunities to practice gratitude by asking, how is this experience contributing to my growth? Or, what can I be thankful for in this situation? By embracing this attitude, we transform our perspective, learning to see life in its entirety as a gift, one that includes both the joys and the challenges. The Stoic practice of gratitude invites us to live with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the present. It teaches us that true wealth lies not in material possessions or external achievements, but in the ability to find contentment in what we have and to embrace life's uncertainties with a grateful heart. As Epictetus reminds us, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. By adopting this wisdom, we cultivate a mindset that is rooted in abundance, resilience, and inner peace, allowing us to navigate life with grace and fulfillment. Living according to virtue is one of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy and is considered the true path to a happy and fulfilling life. In the Stoic view, virtue is the only true good. Unlike the fleeting pleasures of wealth, status, or comfort, virtue is permanent, indestructible, and completely within our control. The Stoics believed that by living in harmony with virtue, we align ourselves with our true nature as rational beings and develop an unshakable inner peace that cannot be disturbed by external events. The Stoic concept of virtue is rooted in four cardinal principles: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not just abstract ideals, they are practical guides for how we should conduct ourselves in every situation, regardless of the circumstances. Wisdom is the ability to discern right from wrong and make sound judgments based on reason. It involves understanding the nature of the world, recognizing what is within our control, and making decisions that are aligned with our values. The Stoics believed that wisdom is the foundation of all other virtues because it provides the clarity and insight necessary for virtuous action. Courage, in Stoic terms, is not just physical bravery, it also encompasses moral courage, the strength to face life's challenges, endure hardships, and remain steadfast in our principles even when it is difficult. Courage involves the willingness to confront fears, whether they stem from pain, loss, or uncertainty. The Stoics taught that fear arises from the misunderstanding of what is truly good or bad. When we learn to view external events as indifferent, neither inherently good nor bad, we can face them with courage and composure. By embracing courage, we develop resilience and the capacity to act in accordance with virtue, regardless of the consequences. Justice is the virtue of treating others fairly and acting in ways that promote the common good. The Stoics believed that humans are inherently social beings designed to live in harmony with one another. Justice requires us to consider the well-being of others, to act with honesty, integrity, and respect in our interactions, and to contribute positively to society. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about his duty as a leader to serve his people with justice and fairness, emphasizing that one's actions should be guided by a sense of responsibility towards the greater good rather than personal gain. Temperance, the fourth cardinal virtue, is the practice of self-control and moderation. It is about finding balance and not allowing desires or emotions to dominate our actions. The Stoics recognized that excessive indulgence in pleasures, whether material or emotional, leads to a loss of freedom and inner peace. Temperance teaches us to use reason to moderate our desires, to appreciate pleasures without becoming enslaved by them, and to maintain a sense of equilibrium in both joy and sorrow. Living according to these virtues is not a passive acceptance of life's challenges. It is an active engagement with the world, guided by a commitment to moral excellence. The Stoics believed that virtue is not just a means to an end, but the end itself, the highest form of human flourishing. They argued that external circumstances such as wealth, health, or social status are indifferent and do not determine our happiness. Instead, happiness arises from living a life that is aligned with virtue, where our actions and choices reflect our deepest values. Practicing virtue requires constant self-awareness and reflection. It involves examining our motives, actions, and thoughts to ensure that they align with our principles. For the Stoics, virtue was not an abstract ideal to be admired from afar, but a practical way of life that demanded daily effort and discipline. They believed that every situation presents an opportunity to practice virtue, whether it be through exercising patience in the face of frustration, showing kindness to those in need, or remaining composed in the midst of adversity. Consider the example of a challenging situation at work. A colleague takes credit for your efforts, leaving you feeling frustrated and wronged. The natural reaction might be to respond with anger, resentment, or retaliation. However, the Stoic approach would encourage you to act in accordance with virtue by first exercising wisdom, recognizing that while you cannot control your colleague's behavior, you can control your response. You might choose to assert your contribution calmly and factually, upholding justice without descending into hostility. Courage is then required to stand up for yourself in a respectful manner, while temperance allows you to manage your emotions and not be driven by anger or the desire for revenge. By focusing on living virtuously, you free yourself from the turmoil that arises from external circumstances. You come to realize that true happiness is not dependent on how others treat you, the recognition you receive, or the outcome of your efforts. Instead, it lies in knowing that you have acted with integrity and in alignment with your values. This inner harmony is what the Stoics referred to as eudaimonia, or human flourishing, the state of being that results from living a life of virtue. And the Stoics also emphasized that virtue is not a static state, but a continuous process of growth and improvement. No one is perfectly virtuous, and striving for moral excellence is an ongoing journey. This understanding fosters a mindset of humility and self-compassion. When we fall short of our ideals, the Stoic response is not to indulge in guilt or self-condemnation, but to reflect on our actions, learn from our mistakes, and resolve to do better in the future. In this way, living according to virtue becomes a daily practice of self-cultivation and self-improvement. For example, Marcus Aurelius, as a Roman emperor, was constantly faced with the pressures of ruling an empire, making difficult decisions, and dealing with personal betrayals and losses. Despite his immense power, he reminded himself in his private writings to act justly, to remain temperate in his use of authority, and to serve the common good. His reflections reveal an ongoing struggle to live in accordance with virtue, showing that even those in positions of great power are not exempt from the challenge of maintaining their moral compass. In modern times, the Stoic principle of living according to virtue can be applied to various aspects of life. In our personal relationships, it means treating others with honesty, kindness, and respect, even when it is difficult or when we feel wronged. It involves practicing forgiveness and recognizing that holding on to grudges or seeking revenge only disrupts our inner peace and contradicts our commitment to justice and compassion. In our professional lives, living virtuously means acting with integrity, doing our work diligently, and contributing to the well-being of others. It involves resisting the temptation to cut corners, deceive, or compromise our values for the sake of personal gain or approval. By focusing on doing what is right rather than what is easy or expedient, we build a sense of self-respect and earn the trust of those around us. Living in accordance with virtue also entails cultivating a sense of purpose that goes beyond personal ambition. The Stoics believed that each individual has a unique role to play in the world, and that fulfilling this role is part of living a virtuous life. This sense of purpose provides direction and meaning, guiding our actions and decisions. It shifts our focus from seeking short-term pleasures to striving for long-term fulfillment that comes from contributing to the greater good. The practice of virtue further involves being mindful of our desires and emotions. The Stoics recognized that desires, when unchecked, can lead to suffering and enslavement. By practicing temperance, we learn to moderate our desires, to be satisfied with what we have, and to resist the allure of material excess. This self-control not only fosters inner peace, but also liberates us from the constant pursuit of external rewards. Moreover, the Stoics taught that virtue requires courage, the willingness to face life's difficulties with strength and resolve. Life inevitably presents us with challenges, from personal losses and failures to conflicts and uncertainties. By cultivating courage, we learn to confront these difficulties without being overwhelmed by fear or despair. We recognize that while we cannot control external events, we can choose to respond with dignity, resilience, and integrity. By living according to virtue, we create a sense of inner stability that is not swayed by the ups and downs of life. We become less dependent on external circumstances for our happiness, knowing that our true fulfillment lies in acting in accordance with our values. This inner freedom allows us to navigate life's challenges with equanimity, maintaining a sense of purpose and direction even when the path is difficult. The Stoics believe that living virtuously is the most important pursuit, not because it guarantees a life free of suffering, but because it leads to a deeper and more enduring form of happiness. When we align our actions with our values, we experience a sense of coherence and integrity that brings us peace of mind. We become resilient in the face of adversity, capable of finding joy and meaning in the process of living a life of moral excellence. Ultimately, living according to virtue is about striving to become the best version of ourselves. It is a commitment to personal growth, self-discipline, and the pursuit of wisdom. By embodying the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we cultivate a life of meaning and purpose, one that is rich not in material wealth but in moral character and inner fulfillment. This, according to the Stoics, is the true path to happiness and a life well lived. As we wrap up our journey into the world of Stoic philosophy, I hope these teachings have offered you new perspectives and practical tools to navigate life's challenges with greater serenity and strength. Remember, Stoicism is not just ancient wisdom, it's a mindset that can truly transform how we approach our daily lives. If you found value in today's discussion, please give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear which Stoic principle resonated with you the most. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to join our growing community. Only 15% of viewers are subscribed, so let's change that. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thank you for being here today and for taking this step towards a more mindful and resilient life. Until next time, remember, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. Stay strong, and I look forward to our next journey together.